without the moving averages. Remember, the indicators are only indicating that you're getting into the trade. Like they're helping you enter the trade. They're helping you exit the trade. All right. So the reason why we go to the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, whatever, is because we gotta see what the candles are doing. Remember, your candles are always going to leave one particular resistance and go down to a support, or they leave one support and they're going to go to a resistance. So it doesn't really matter where what we're trying to do is we're trying to maximize and try to gain the pips in between the zones. So you have major zones, which is those highs and those lows, and then you have the support and resistance, and you have zones, what we call zones within zones, right? So anytime that you have a high and a low on a time frame, that's a major zone, right? Because you're looking at the high on a higher time frame. When you go down to the lower time frame, you're going to have zones in between those major zones, meaning I got to hop in the trade within those zones, right? So the whole point of going to each time frame is to just look and try to strategize as far as, okay, I know that my candles have reached this high or this low on this particular time frame. What are my candles doing once they hit this area? So look at what your candles are doing. You have to go back and you have to slide your screen over to the left. You have to see what your candles are doing in the past. Now I have gold up, but this is just for a visual aid. So I have to look and see what my candles are doing to the left, because in order for me to see where they're going, I got to know where they came from. Right. So that's just kind of how you apply a thing to life. Like in order for you to continue to go forward, you can't forget where you came from. Right. It's not like, they have said, man, you forget what you came from. No, I didn't forget where I come from, but I know where I came from. So I got to know where I'm going. Right. Because I can't continue to stay in this particular situation. So I got to move forward. So what the candles are doing is saying, hey, I've been here before. I've touched this area multiple times. If you think about going any further, chances are you may not go any further, because if I come to the same exact area time after time, why are you trying to do anything different? Right. So you looking at the past to see what your candles are actually doing prior to you taking a future trade. So that's like you own steps. I talked about this last night. You walking up some steps. Everybody know how to walk up steps. You walk up steps. You got to get to a point where you can't go no more. There's like, unless you're going to heaven. And if you're going to heaven, your physical body ain't supposed to be here, right? So that's a whole nother story, okay? So if we walking up some steps, we got to come to a point where we got to stop, right? So if I get to the top of the steps, there ain't nowhere to go but where? But down. That's the only place I can go. I can't go sideways, and I can go sideways, but in order for me to get where I got to go, I got to turn around and I got to go back down, because what goes up must come down. Same thing if I'm at the bottom of the steps. If I'm at the bottom of the steps, the only other place for me to go is either I'm going to go through the floor, which would be really bad if I did that, or I got to go up top because I'm trying to get somewhere. Remember, Forex and trading is all about support and resistance. So if I'm sitting at the bottom of the steps, my floor is supporting my body. It is allowing me not to go through the floor. And that's what you're trying to figure out. Are these candles going to go through the floor, or are they going to go to the ceiling? Now, if the floor is supporting me on the bottom of the steps and I don't want to go this, and they say, oh man, Jewel, hey, food is upstairs. I'm going where the food is. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go where the food is. I'm going to go wherever they drinks, wherever. They say they upstairs. I'm at the bottom. I got to go up the steps. So I got to travel up steps to get to the top, right? When I get to the top of the steps, that's my ceiling. That's my resistance. I no longer can go there, because now I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm laughing, I'm joking. Ha ha ha. Y'all, guess what? I got to go. Guess where I got to go, y'all? I got to go back down the steps and leave. So you got to look at the same thing with your candles. All your candles are doing is they sitting at a floor and they're saying, hey, I no longer want to be at the floor. Now guess what I'm going to do? I'm about to go to the top. I'm going to go to the ceiling. When I get to the ceiling, it's like, I done been here so many times. I'm tired of looking at these folks. This party, I can't be here. Like they ask you, man, who gonna be there? I always ask that question when we go somewhere. Who all gonna be there? Right? Y'all didn't heard it. So who all gonna be there? I gotta look around. Man, you know what? I ain't really feeling this. I'm gonna go back around and turn back around and go back home. That's the same thing that you're doing. That's the same thing that you're doing when you're looking at support and resistance, because that is all that trading is doing. So when we are trying to strategize each different zone, your whole point of going from one time frame to the next is to mark up those candles for the floor and the ceiling. Once I mark up every single high time frame, unless you want to trade out the 4 hour, be my guest. God bless you, because it's going to take you days to get your money, right? Unless you want to trade on the 1 hour, that's your day. Like if you want to trade on 1 hour, the 1 hour not bad if you have a busy schedule. But if my candle's reaching this 1 hour and they reaching this 4 hour, I know that, man, chances are it's got to do something when it come here. If it's reaching a high, it's telling me, hey, if you have reached me on a daily, on a 4 hour, if you reach the high on these higher time frames, two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to turn around and make a sale and then go back up, or chances are I'm going to break through this high and I'm going to continue to go on up because I got a lot of momentum. So the point of breaking out each time frame, then you say, okay, I like to trade out the 15-minute. So now I'm going to go to the 15-minute, mark up that support and resistance, put the moving averages on and see where my 200 is sitting at, see what my 50, see what my 10, and that's going to allow me to mark up how many pips. It's going to be from one support to resistance or resistance to support. And I can set alerts to actually hop in that trade at that point. Now, 15-minute, remember, every candle is 15 minutes. So if I'm waiting for my candles to reach an area, I have to wait for the retest. Every trade has to retest, has to pull back, has to retrace. Anytime your candles come to an area, it's coming to an area to let you know, hey, I'm trying to go this way. For example, let's look. I don't want to look at gold because gold is an unrealistic trade for some people that are brand new to this. Let's go to GBP USD. If it'll pop up.
I want too many answers.
Today. Hold on, y'all. Oh, why y'all ain't tell me I had an S behind GBP USD? Y'all just gonna, y'all be saying that. Y'all be quiet. Y'all be saying nothing.
Oops, my bad.
All right. So I got GBP USD. So I forgot what I was saying. Okay. So you gotta go, like I said, you gotta go to each time frame and you marking up. So once you have to have your candles have to come to an area. And once they reach an area, you have to understand every pair has a trend. It's either going to be going up, it's either going to be going down, or it's either be going sideways. So one of the main reasons too, why you go to a higher time frame, let's say we go to the 4 hour and I'm looking and I zoom out of this trade. Let's see where this trade is actually going. Now, if we were to look at this, where does this trade overall on the 4 hour, where does it look like it's trying to do? What is the trend of this trade? Don't everybody say it once.
Bye.
Okay, it's buying. This is an overall trend, meaning I'm at a low. Look at my candles going up. This is buy. I'm buying. It means I'm going upward. Buying on a trend, you have to understand when you have trends, they look like steps. Where do y'all think these candles are going? Down to the low. Because guess what? It hit it before. Chances are it's trying to hit back again. Now, this is a 4-hour. So we know that the overall trend is what? Is going up in a buy. Nobody's going to trade on a 4-hour. If you do, that's your business. But nobody's going to trade on a 4-hour, right? So we're only marking up the 4-hour to see where the candles are going to go, right? So let's go ahead and do the 4-hour. And got to make sure that your chart is refreshed. High and low. Look at these candles, y'all. Hit the zone. Hit the zone. Come back in it. Come back down. Break through there. Come back down. Same exact spot. Hit that pink zone again. All the way back down. Back up to this zone. Guess what? It's got to go somewhere. So now that I'm on the 4-hour, I'm not going to trade on the 4-hour because look, I hit one zone. I come back to the next. Now, I know that my candles have reached an area at the floor and they bought up. They went up to the steps. They came to the high and said, man, look, it's time to go. Now it's time to go. This is October the 20th. Look at the date on the bottom. All the way till what? Today. This happened from Sunday to today. It said, hey, I didn't sold, right? 4-hour. Go down to the time frame that you want to trade because look at, you got days, you got hours, you got minutes. Now, you could either go to the 1 hour, you go to the 30 minute. Let's go to the 30 minute. Look at that. The high really didn't change, but I got a new low, right? So I'm going to mark up the low on the 30 minute. Now, chances are this is an overall buy. Now, on the 4-hour, check this out. My 4-hour is telling me I want to buy so bad because look at all this. It's like up, 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 up. Look at a zoomed out. Look at the orange zone and look at your pink 4-hour zones. Look how it's hitting here, bought up. Here, bought up. Here, bought up. And then it just broke through there and it went crazy. So guess where we at? We back here again. So I'm back at the same exact spot that I was here, that I was here, that I was here, that I was here. So why would I try to sell this trade? Every single time that my candles have touched this orange zone, it has rejected it, meaning it bought. It bought. Now it broke through here. Now this is an exception to the rule because what happened was it just had so much momentum that it just broke through that zone. Now nobody was able to see this coming because once again this is a 4-hour zone and it just broke through there. But once it came back again, it bought back up, right? So now I'm back at this same low on the 30 minute. I'm back at this low on the 30 minute. So I got to figure out what my candles are going to do. Are they going to buy? Are they going to sell? Are they going to go back up? Are they going to break through? Every time it touches this orange zone, it keeps bouncing up for the buy. So then you say, okay, well, I already got everything marked up. I got my 4-hour marked up. I got my hour marked up. I got my 30 minute marked up. Okay, now I got to utilize what? My moving averages. Because now I come here, they're not breaking it. Once again, it's pretty strong. If you all look to the left, the black line is also a strong area of support and resistance. Look at my black line. So I know, look at my black line. Look at my black line. I know that this is an area of what? Resistance. In order for me to successfully take this trade for a buy, I got to break this. Meaning I got to have my candles come through this area, because my next resistance, which could possibly be my profit, my take profit, could be this. So if I break this particular 200 and I got a cross, I start to have peace. All these things are starting to happen. Now let me calculate how many pips I got from here to here, just to see, right? Because I'm on a 15-minute. Let me see how many pips I got. From here, that's a 50 pip zone, 54 pips. Do the math. 50 cents, 5 times 5 is 25. So you could get you an easy $25, 50 cents, right? Depending on what your lot size is. A $5 lot size, bankroll, $250. Okay. Go on and on, whatever, like so on and so on. 10 cents, $2.50. Well, no, yeah. No, wait. $55. I got my math got all off. So, but you get that. Y'all get the point what I'm trying to say. I was thinking about 50 cents and $5. But if you do 10 cents, of course, if you go for 50 pips, that's $5. Okay, right. So, because of course your lot size is going to be different. So what you have to understand is this is a 50 pip zone. So from here to here is 50 pips. All right. So my job is to wait until my candles break this resistance, because you have to understand your candles have to break the trend that it's currently in. It is currently in a sale. So in order for me to take the trade successfully, it must break the trend. And the trend line that you have is your 50 EMA. So my candles right now are trying to break this trend. But let's not be cautious, because all your candles could possibly do is come up to this resistance and then do what? Come back down to sell. Or it could say, hey, I'm tired of selling. I'm about to break and I'm about to continue to go up. Now, let's say you missed this particular move because it happened at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you sleep. Now it has to come to what? The next resistance. Once it comes to the next resistance, that's when you mark up where is your next area. I'm not going to just hop in the trade because I saw that it's buying. I'm not going to do that. Because if it comes to an area, chances are it has to correct itself. I got to see what time of the day that it is. I got to see what candle, what time frame. If I'm close to an hour, I'm not going to get in the trade. If I'm around the 30-minute, I'm going to wait until that 30-minute passes, right? Because every hour and every half hour, your candles are going to do something. It's going to spike up. They're going to make a change. So you have to wait till the hour changes. You have to wait till the half hour passes, right? So you miss this trade. I know for a fact, if I take it from here to here, I got to stop. I got to get out until it breaks this. Or I can wait until it actually breaks this green resistance. And then I can hop into the trade, which is the more cautious thing to do. Because some people are very cautious traders and they say, nah, I'm going to wait until it break everything. Like myself, I'll wait. But then as soon as it break this, that's 50 some pips. I don't know. That's a lot of pips. I can at least get 30 of them. Right? So I'm in the hour. I see that my EMAs are sitting here. Let me go to the 4 hour. EMAs, they still sitting at that green resistance, y'all. The daily. still sitting at that dang on green resistance. So chances are, in order for me to take this trade and continue it for the buy that we really want to have, it's got to break it. But I don't think that it will do that because this 200 and the 800 is sitting at the green resistance on every single time frame. So in order for it to take the buy, it has to break that green resistance. Unless it comes to that resistance, and then what is it going to do? Sell. Because GU is sold. It didn't give you a big sale, but it's sold. And that's what you have to do. Each time frame is going to tell you 200 sitting at the green zone. Even some people go to the weekly or to the monthly. Like nobody's going to trade off of this. But look where your candles are sitting. Like you got to break all of it. Like I don't even look at the monthly like that. But look at that. It's just sitting there. Sitting there. Here. So even if I break this black line, if I take it from here to here, I'm going to get out. That's my cue to get out because every time frame, I got a 200 or 800 sitting on there. And on the 15-minute, that is what? My high. This is my high, letting me know your candles have reached this high on this particular time frame. I don't do anything more than 0.01 unless you really just want to see. So when you are entering a MetaTrader 4, that's what you're doing. So questions on it.
All right, you say the stop loss. You said 50 pips, right?
Right.
So let's say if this trade was from the buy from where it is now, 1.36266, I would do a negative 50 pips from that 1.36.
If you, So if you enter the trade right here, so what you would do is you would basically, if you're going for 25 pips, like this, let's say this 25 pips, right? How many pips is this? Let's just see how many 25 pips it is. So that's right here, 25 pips. So that's 25 pips, right? So let's just say that it starts to come back down. And let's say you did put a stop loss right there, a 20 pip stop loss. And it hits this zone, right? And then it starts going back up. If it come here and you hit 20 pip stop, it's going to automatically kick you out the trade. Now it's going to close you out with a negative whatever that you lost. Versus, and this is proper risk management. This is giving you room to wiggle, right? So if you enter a lot size that's sizable and that's supposed to be 2% of your money, right? If you don't over leverage, 50 pips is not a lot. So if I got $100, I don't need to go in with $1 lot. I need to cut it in half. So if I go down 50 pips, I've only lost a few dollars. You see what I'm saying? Versus if I go in with $1 and I go down 50 pips, it's a different story. You see what I'm saying? So now I do a 50 pip stop. So my 50 pip stop would be, and I say 50 pips, and that's give or take. Like if you're going for 25, you want to at least your max is 50. Now you can do 30, you can do 40, but I say I wouldn't go more than 50. So my 50 pips, so 50 pips would be around this area in between this zone. Because you got to look at where your candles are going to come from, right? So if they do decide to break through here, look how they stop. You see how they stopped in the middle of the zone?
Yeah.
So chances are, if it do stop here, it may turn back around, because if it kicks you out, by the time it hits here, it's like, oh man, kick me out the trade. It's cool. I done lost me a few dollars. Because if it comes here and then it starts to turn around. Let's say it starts going the other way, and you decide to say, okay, let me mark it up. I know I did something wrong. And you said, well, let me just wait until it come here. And you wait till it come here, and then you hop in the trade, and it goes where it wants to go. Now you probably gonna make your money back. You may not make no profit like to get you to the next number, but now you probably have made the dollars that you made back. Now you probably breaking even because you waited to hop into the trade where you was really supposed to hop in it, versus I done lost me. Let's say you lost $10 off of it. And let's say you got in, let's say you down 190. Let's say you got 200, you down 190. Hey, I lost $10. Golly, dang. Shoot. I closed out, I'm down $10. I'll wait till I get here. Now, I don't go and do the same lot size I just did now. I got to go down because I have less money. So now I'm probably going to do whatever that I did, I'm going to cut that in half. So now if I cut that in half, I may get at least $7 back, $5 back, right? I'm not going to try to hurry up and get the $10 back. Do not do that. Do not revenge trade, because that's what a lot of people do. They lose their money and they hop right back in, revenging. Unless you are just absolutely certain and that trade is going to literally go from here to here. If you get out the trade and you lose that trade, take that L, look at what you did wrong, and wait. Don't just turn around because you see that your candles are going for a sale and you say, man, I lost my $10. Let me hop in for a sale because it's going for a sale. Because chances are, if it's going for a sale, it's just coming back down to go back up. So yeah, so you want to make sure that you do at least, if you're going for 25 pips, you want to at least do a 40, 50 pip stop. And that's my opinion. Now you can do a 30 pip stop, you can do a 40 pip stop, but I want to at least, I don't want to be kicked out the trade, because I feel like sometimes when you do get in early, and then what happens is you get in early and you get in before the pullback, and then it comes back, and then guess what it do? It turn around and it start going the other way. So like if I can get in the trade, and I can stay in the trade and then go the other way, and by the time it reach what I want to do, and then it start breaking the area, man, my heart ain't beating so fast no more. So yeah, always go for a bigger stop loss than you do your pips, to make sure that if it does go the opposite way. Now, if it starts to continue to go the opposite way, and you'll know that, like you'll see the momentum once it starts continuing to go the opposite way. You see that and you just like, man, let me just close this out. Because that's the hardest thing to do, is close out a trade that you know you're losing. I swear it is. I swear it's the hardest thing to do, to close out a trade that you know you're losing. I'm telling y'all, when y'all start working with them bigger lot size, when you get there, that's the hardest thing to do, because you do not want to close it out. Because it's really a mental thing. Because think about it. If you got $1,000 in your trading account, you can trade at $15 a pip. You can trade $15 a pip. You can do $10 a pip.
Mm.
If you go down, let's say you go down, because, right, I'm going to get half of it. So the hardest thing to do is to literally close out a trade, because in your mind, you think that, man, I didn't lost all my money, when really you only lost a portion of it. So if you hold on to the trade, you look up, you done lost 100, 200, 300. At this point, somebody need to be throwing something in the back of your head telling you to close the trade out, right? Because it will happen. I've lost 900. I lost 900. Long time. I lost $900, like in an hour time span.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did not want to close the trade out. I did not want to close the trade out. Did not. I was like, I refused to close the trade out. And I was like, I was down $100 and some, like for the longest. I was like 100, 200, 100, 200, 100, 200. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna close it out. Dang, it's gonna go the other way. Morning hit, like it was a London session. The hour hit, it gave me a momentum candle that blew my mind. It literally went from negative 200 to like -5 in a matter of minutes. Like, cause it was momentum, it was like news that came out. So I'm looking at -500 and I still don't close it out, Jewel. It's gonna turn around because you start going to every time frame, you start looking. Yeah, my candle's coming here. Yeah, you even start getting up, pacing, because you start looking and you start pacing back and forth, and you trying to make the trade turn around. And in the back of your head, it ain't turning around, Jewel. And finally, if you only have, depending on how much money you got in your account, it depends on if you have like 1,200 or whatever. I think at the time I had like 2,000. Like that's why I had like $2,000 in there. And I was trying to hold on to that trade so bad. I lost $900. I woke up, like I couldn't even go to sleep. I got up at the bed and I just I sit on the edge of the bed. Like I sit on the edge of my bed, y'all. And I wanted to cry so bad. Like it hurt my heart. Like I couldn't even cry. It hurt so bad. And I was like, dang, I done lost me $900. And I had to go into the weekend with the longest face ever. Cause I done lost $900. Like I could have been, and then guess what it did? Turned around and went the other way.
Oh man.
It turned around after I didn't set up and lost
Nothing
that
kills
money.
you more than that.
Turned around and went the other way. I couldn't even trade it. I didn't even want to trade it because I felt like if I was gonna get into trade, I was gonna lose more money. And it, like, when I tell you, I sat on the edge of my bed. I sat on the edge of the bed, and I told Jarrell, and he said, "What's wrong?" I just shook my head. I said, I lost $900. He said, "You did what?" I said, "I lost $900. He said, "Well, how did you do that?" I said, "I just didn't let it go." "Ah, Jewel, come on. You must know better than that." I said, "I couldn't let the trade go. I couldn't let it go." They was like, "Okay, just calm down. It's okay. It's all right." Knowing in the back of his mind, he probably saying, "Oh man, she lost some money." But it was the, like, I wasn't throwing stuff around. I was really intact. And that's the biggest thing about trading. You gotta keep your emotions intact. Like you gotta keep centered in 3 months. You can. Like you can, I mean, and that's the thing. Depending on what your starting balance is. Like you can come into it and make 6 figures, 5 figures. I've seen people make 20 bands, 20K, 30K. I've even seen people make 50 to 100K in one trade. But they ain't start off with $100 in their account. They start off with a few thousand. So it's all about what you do. It don't matter if you make 100K, if you make $10, if you make 10,000, or if you make 250, right? It's still a consistent balance. And they have, because think about it. If you can't grow this small amount of money, there's no way that you're going to take 10,000 to whatever. There's no way that you can take 25,000 to whatever. There's no way that you can take 1,000 to 3,000 if you can't grow 100 to 300, right? So it's about really for real changing your whole thought process. So if I would have lost $900 when I first started this journey, I probably would have quit. Real talk. I probably would say, "Nah, I'm good. Like, I'm good." But the fact of the matter is, I know that this whole deal is a vehicle to, you know what I'm saying, get money. Because it's a lot of people that they trade Forex, because you got Forex, then you got your indices, then you got options, and you got futures. Options and futures, that's like next level type stuff. Forex is like your basics, right? It's like, okay, I can trade Forex. Then you start moving into the indices because they a little faster. Cool, I can trade it. Then when you start doing options and futures, that's a whole nother wavelength. So it's levels to everything that you do, as long as you understand the basics of trading. That's why you have to know how to control your emotions. You have to know how to enter and exit trades successfully. You have to understand patience and waiting for the right moment, because the thing is, if you wait for the right trade to happen and you really just wait for the right trade and you wait for that breakthrough and that retest for that trade, it could put your account in a position where you at a position. So now it's like, I don't have to trade 10 different pairs to get a bankroll. If I trade GU consistently every single day, and if I start off doing $100 a day, let's say I do $50 a day, 5 times 4, if I trade 4 days, I done made $100 a week for the week, right? 100 going to eventually turn to what? 300. 300 going to eventually turn to 400. 400 going to turn to 500. Like, so now you didn't give yourself a 500, let's say a $400 raise for the month. Then now I don't have $100 in my account. Now I got 400 in there. I got 500. Guess what? Now I can trade at $3, whatever, $6. Okay. 6 times 30. If I can do the math, in 6 times 3, 18. Ain't that right? Like multiplication. So if I'm going at $6 and I go for 30 pips, I done made me 180. Now they made me 180 a day. I used to have to work 8 hours to make 180. Right? So if I make $100 a day, now I didn't turn for $100 a week to $100 a day. Now I done made $100 a day. I didn't trade it 3 or 4 days. I done made $400 for that week.
That's
Guess what I
so
got
major,
now?
man.
Now guess what I got? I went from $100 a week and I made $400 in a month. Now I went from $100 a day. That's 100, 100, 100. I done made 500 for the week. And let's say I did that on a 3-week span. 5 times 3, I think that's 15. So now I done got me 1,500. Follow me. So now I had 400 this month. I got 1,500 now. Right? I done made 1,500 this month and I made 400 this month. Combine that together. What is that? Now, guess what? I can trade more. I can trade a bigger lot size. Now I can go from making $100 a day to what? 200, 300. Sometimes you can make up to $500 depending on what you trade. And then eventually you're going to go from making what? 1,000 a week, right? To 1,000 a day. 1,000 a day, 1,000 times 4. I think that's $4,000. So now I went from $100 a week to $100 a day. From $100 to a day to now I'm making $300 a day. $300 a day to making $1,000 a day. $1,000 a day to making what? $3,000 a day. Whatever that your goal is, all you got to do is just don't think about, I got to get this money right now. Like, oh man, think about the whole deal, because you got about 22 trading days in a month, in a whole 30-day span. You got about 22 days that you can actually trade in foreign exchange. Just think about what I just said. That if you trade 22 days successfully and you trade and you making $100 a day, just think how much money that is that you'd have made in those 22 days.
It's
Even
major.
though, it's a lot of
Everybody
stuff.
kink their nose at $50 a day.
Hey.
And $50 a day, and Ty, you value this now. That's $200 a month. I mean, that's $200 a week, which is $800 a month. People don't make that on rental property.
And there's a lot of folks out here that's really trying to, it could save. Like, I know folks out here arguing over an extra $300-$400 a month. Real
My
talk.
point. My point.
I know folks out here that's married that's arguing about $300-400 a month extra because
You know
of
what I
some,
always preach? You'll spend 40, 50 grand on a rental property, hopefully to make about $700 a month. When you can take 1,500 or less here and make 50 a day
50 a day.
and make $800 a month. But everybody always kink their nose up at it. If you do $30 a day, that's $600 a month. Brother, that's rental property.
Real talk.
That's real.
So you got to understand the foundation of this. So what I'm teaching is what I learned about zone to zone, marking it up. You got to go to the screen. You got to go to the page. You got to mark up your charts, y'all. You got to look at the charts. You got to do some stuff outside of here. Like I say, if you don't understand, man, let me know. I always am willing to say, show me what you got. But you got to show me, okay, I marked up this chart. Is this right? No, it's not right. Let me show you how to do it. Is this right? Yes, it is right. Where do I enter the trade at? Like, it's all about getting the confidence to enter the trade. Everything we do is zone to zone, markup.
TP3 off of this chart right here that you got right now.